Assalamu alaikum, I'm Alyssa Monet, and welcome to My August Mind. Okay, so hey friends, first I want to address the background change. It is a little different from my previous videos. Basically, I've been watching a little bit too much Alexandra Gator, and I've also just been wanting to change up my desk bookshelf space for a while now. My books are overflowing, and there's nowhere in my house to keep fitting them. Additionally, my desk was just like a place of contention. I just had a bunch of stuff on the desk. I really wasn't using it anymore. It was just becoming overflowed and it needed a revamp. So this is what I gave her. Previously, I didn't have any books at the top shelf. I could only have super light things because the shelf wasn't properly secured to the wall. So now it's all good. Now I can host my books up there, and now I have my beautiful collection behind me. Now that that's out of the way, without further ado, I want to get into the video. Today, I have 5 summer reading recommendations to get you back into reading. So, these are some of my favorite books that I'm going to be sharing, books that I love, books that have been just so fun to read, fun to get through, incredible stories, etc. These are books that I feel like once you pick them up, you're going to be out of your reading slump. You're going to really love the book, feel connected to the book, or at the very least, they're good summer reads, good things to read on the beach, on a road trip, or whatever may have you. When you need a book, you need to get through it in a couple of days, these are the books that I would recommend. Also, if you see me look down, I have my little list here, so I'll just be referencing my list. And also, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen these same reading recommendations. But when I filmed my reel for Instagram, I found myself rambling on and on and on about these books, and I felt like it would only make sense to make a longer form video about it. So alas, here we are. The first book I have to recommend to you is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. This book it's one of my favorite books. If you ask me what my favorite book is, I'll probably say this or Barracoon, also by Zora Neale Hurston. It follows our main character, Janie, through her life, her loves, relationships, and what it's like being a free Black woman growing up in the South in the 1920s. You go on this journey with her from the time she reaches a little bit older than puberty through her adulthood. The love is just so sweet in here. You learn so much just going through her life. You see so many different characters, caricatures. It hits on topics such as colorism, Black capitalism in a way, and other things. There's just so many themes that run through this book. This is a book I would 100% read more than one time. I know it's like, oh, it's a romance, but it's not really a romance. It's really a story of her life, and her loves are part of her life, but she really does find herself throughout this book. You watch her grow into this just beautiful, blossoming woman with a sure head on her shoulder. One thing I will say about this book is that it's written in an Ebonics fashion. So a lot of the words are spelled as they sound, not as they are. Oftentimes, I found myself having to read things aloud to myself and reflect on how I say things. Like, how do I pronounce words? What is this weird thing about accents? And I kind of love it. It is a little difficult, but it's also kind of fun because it forces you to engage more with the work. It also is an interesting way to commemorate the Southern accent, to commemorate. Highly recommend this book, especially if you want something that's leaning a little bit more fantasy, or if you want to get into fantasy, I would highly recommend this book. Again, it's so easy to understand the magic system. It's got a touch of romance, a touch of rebellion, and revolution, and I just absolutely loved it. Again, it's based on Bolivian politics and history. So if you like any of that, if you're interested in any of that, pick up this book. This book approaches 500 pages, but again, it's in that young adult, new adult genre. So it's a really, really quick read, approaching 400 pages, but the story is really good. This is also a standalone. There are other books in the series that follow different characters, kind of like Bridgerton, how Bridgerton is in the same world but follows different characters. Highly, highly recommend. I really enjoyed it. Next on the list, I have The Last Quintia by Donna Barba Higuera. This book, guys, it took me through an emotional roller coaster. We follow our main character, Petra, at the end of the earth. So, the end of the world, end of the earth, post apocalyptic vibes. Her family was selected as one of a few hundred to board this ship because her parents have a specialty. So they're going to board this ship and they're going to go into cryo sleep and head off for a 200-year journey to a new planet. Now, everyone who is selected to be on the ship are experts in their field, which is why they were sent to this new planet, so that when they get there, they can make the best of everything that's on the planet and figure out how to live and sustain life. The problem is, she wakes up, things are awry, the leadership isn't the same, and she is the only person who remembers the history of Earth. They are not at their destination. Something's off, things are going wrong, and she is going to figure out what happened. This is a young adult science fiction novel. It is also a winner of the Newbery Medal. It is also so beautiful. Look at this book, guys. The cover is incredible. Let me tell you who it was designed by. Jacket art and design by Roxanne Maniquez. The cover is incredible. Not only is the cover incredible, but when you take off the sleeve, look at this book, guys. It's stunning. It is actually so gorgeous. So yes, super love this book. Petra also, she was born in Central California, somewhere in California. It takes most of it takes place aboard the spaceship. And again, we follow her as she tries to figure out what went awry, how she can fix it. She is the last cuentista meaning storyteller. And yeah, up to you to read and figure out how this plays into the story. This book talks about, again, the importance of storytelling, the importance of culture, remembering, recalling, embracing, and honoring our history as humans, as peoples, as tribes. It is such a beautiful read. And it also was one of the first things I've read by a Hispanic author. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. But it is incredible, an incredible read. Highly, highly recommend. Again, it's a pretty short book. I have the hardcover, which makes it seem a bit larger than it is. Little over 200 pages. This book, I was about to cry. I was about to cry. So highly recommend if you're looking for something, a summer read to get you through, this is the one. If you love sci-fi fantasy, this is it. The next book I have for you is The Glacier by Kim Liggett. Also, I don't know why I kept calling this the Hope Year for a very long time. It's not the Hope Year. People would ask me, what is that book that you were reading? What is that book you were talking about? And I was like, the Hope Year, the Hope Year. And some of them were like, I don't know what that is. I can't find it. And I was like, that's probably because it's not the title of the book. So if I told you the Hope Year, I'm so sorry. It is The Glacier by Kim Liggett. I actually got this as a blind date with a book at Barnes & Noble. I don't super support shopping with them. Support your local bookshops and small independent bookshops. In the blind date with a book, this was described as Hunger Games meets Handmaid's Tale, and I can say that's pretty accurate. In this book, we follow our main character and a group of young girls who, at the age of 16 in their society, are forced to go release all of their magic on an island. They're forced to live on this island for an entire year and release all of their magic. The problem is, every year, not everybody comes back. People come back dismembered with, limbs missing, etc., etc. And so we follow our main character as she goes to this island, tries to survive, tries to figure out what is this grace year thing. The other issue is when girls come back, no one talks about it. No one talks about it. No one says anything about it. You don't really know what's going on because anybody who says anything is persecuted. So we follow our main character as she tries to survive on this island. It is so good. It had me trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in this book? What is going on? And it draws a lot of parallels to real things that have happened to people for a long time. It obviously touches on patriarchy and misogyny, etc. This was it was just such a good book. I really don't have much to say. If I didn't sell you already, Handmaid's Tale, Hunger Games, get the book. Again, this is another YA read, YA new adult kind of read. I loved it. Absolutely, absolutely incredible. Highly recommend for a summer read. This one's a bit longer, about 400 pages. If you're looking for a good summer read, get The Glacier. Okay, we've made it. We're at the last book. The last book I have to recommend to you is Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch. You may have seen Love and Gelato on Netflix. I didn't like it, but that's besides the point. This is the creation of Jenna Evans Welch. It's a 3-book series, Love and Olives, Love and Gelato, and I think Love and Luck, something like this. It's in Ireland. I loved this so much. I actually started with Love and Olives and then I read Love and Gelato. I didn't get Love and Luck. But I love this book so much. This one's pretty thick. Love and Gelato is a bit shorter, but I loved Love and Olives so much. It's set in Santorini. It's set in Santorini, Greece. After reading this book, I feel like I've been to Santorini, Greece. It was just so beautifully spoken about. It's still very like it transports you. It transports you the writing to where they are. We follow our main character, Lib. She's pretty young. I think she's just getting out of high school as she is sent to stay with her father for the summer in Santorini, Greece to help him film a documentary on Atlantis. There's no magic in the book, but it kind of feels like magical realism, especially because we're dealing with something like Atlantis. While she's on the island of Santorini, she meets some people, meets a boy, falls in love, etc., etc. It's super cute. She also, she learns to fall in love with herself, fall in love with her dad and her family. Her and her dad have like a pretty storied relationship. And so for her to see him after such a long time, for him to reach out to her and ask her to do this for him is a bit strange. She's trying to figure it all out. And while she's trying to figure it out, she meets a boy, falls in love. It's just such a cute, sweet love story. It's not got any spice because, again, it's YA. If you can tell, I love YA new adult. I'm shifting, guys, okay? But absolutely loved this. I read through it so fast. This is the best, like, beach read, poolside read, you know, this read it sitting in the sun, relaxing, flipping through it, cozy summer nights in the backyard. Like this is the book for that. So, yes. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. If these books don't pull you out of a reading slump, I haven't done my job and I'm sorry. Or maybe you just hate books. Maybe you're just a loser. So, yes, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed these summer reading recommendations. Let me know if you guys liked this video. Maybe I'll do another one for the fall with cozy fall vibes. But I just love reading so much. And I feel like if any of these books stood out to you and they sound interesting to you, I feel like if you pick them up and read them, it's going to pull you out of a reading slump and get you back into reading, get you loving reading again. So, highly recommend all of these books. Yeah. If you enjoyed today's video, stay tuned, subscribe, like if you enjoyed today's video, stay tuned, subscribe, like the video, do all of the things, and I'll catch you in the next one. Salamu alaikum.